Welcome to Big Bang Radio Spotlights. This is a show where we talk to independent artists from all around the world about their music and their process for making it. I'm your host, Karisma Smith, and today I get to sit down with bedroom pop artist Hannah Jadagu. Without any further ado, here's the interview. First question, what is your earliest musical memory?
Earliest musical memory? Probably just like, I feel like you might have had this experience growing up too, but when you wake up and your mom is like playing music and that means that she's cleaning the house, that I feel like that's my earliest music memory. And it was like before Drake was famous. She was playing Drake. So yeah.
Okay, and feeding off that question, how do you feel like your upbringing has influenced your musical career and like your talents, like singing, songwriting?
I feel like my upbringing has had everything to do with where I'm at today. I mean, I was raised in a fairly musical household. Like my sister was always in choir and we were in like the church choir. And then in middle school, I played percussion. And in high school as well, I played percussion. And we were just always doing music leaning stuff. So yeah, I feel like that allowed me to carry some of that stuff into what I do today with making music and all that.
Okay. And I did go on your Instagram, and something that caught my attention was a flyer for the Backyard Bloom. It was in 2019, and it said you had a live performance, and I was wondering if that was your first time performing live, and if so, how was it?
Wow. You did your research, bruh. I think that was probably my first time performing live for my own music. And Backyard Bloom was a showcase that I would put on in my hometown, in my own backyard, where all my friends could come and showcase their art or sing or whatever they wanted to do. And yeah, that was probably the first time I began performing my own original music.
Okay, so you performed your own songs.
Yeah, and up until then, it was like, I was in the band. I was playing other people's stuff. But that was when I played my own songs, yeah.
And with one of your first songs being Unending, before you released it, was you already like working on the song, like maybe weeks, months, maybe even years prior, or was it worked on right before you released it?
That's a good question. I think at that time, I was super quick, like with whatever I was making. So for context, I probably just made that song and then put it out immediately. I don't think it took too long. That was back when I had the freedom to do that. Now I can't do that. Like You make something and then the label's like, all right, we want to promote it, and your team gets the whole thing together, which is a blessing. But yeah, back then I definitely just made it and put it out.
Okay. And speaking of songwriting, how was your writing process before versus now? Like, has it changed throughout the years, or is it still the same?
I would say it's a little bit of both. Like when I first started making music, I definitely was more interested in starting out with like a guitar and getting some chords and making music that way, and then layering everything all at once. But now it depends. I could start with a keyboard. I could start with a voice note, a voice memo, anything like that. So, but the process is still very similar for me. Like I'll start with kind of gibberish and then it'll turn into something. And I like to produce stuff as I go. And that part is still the same.
Guess I got lucky and I said I will wait till it's time. At me, now I think I'm alright. Tell me when you're coming to stay. I'm starting to miss now waking up with your face and talking on the phone is breaking up what you say.
was there a specific moment in your life when that made you realize that you wanted to do music?
I think so. I think when I was in high school and I started putting music out on SoundCloud, shout out SoundCloud, I think that was when I realized, like, oh, I think only like 50 people listened to whatever I was doing. But something in that, like, motivated me and made me want to keep making music. So, yeah, I would say I was probably around like 16 or so when I realized, okay, I want to start putting out my music under my own artist project and see where we could go from there.
And in 2020, you had around 32,000 streams on Spotify. How does it feel to now have over 900,000 monthly listeners now? Like, was it challenging dealing with like the influx of your fans? Like, was it overwhelming or did you adjust good?
Nah, I would say it's chill. Like,
Okay.
it's still chill, you know? It's cool, but yeah, nothing's changed.
You also did a collab in 2020 with artist named Wolfgang. The song was Sit Down, It's Time for Dinner. And on your Instagram post, when you was promoting the song, you said that this song was a very relevant reflection in times of unveiling injustices. Before you began music, did you ever think that you would be like speaking on those type of topics, like bringing awareness to global issues?
Wow. You know what? I feel like I probably did. I think I always have had opinions. And I think I've always wanted to share my opinions. And I've always hoped, that, I don't know, because I feel like when we made that song, that was during, sort of this Black Lives Matter resurgence. And that to me was important. And I felt like what we were saying was important. And I think before then, I definitely would have had those conversations regardless of if I was making music or not. So yeah, maybe I didn't know that one day I would be doing that, like using music as a vessel or an extension of getting like certain messages across. But I feel like I've always had it in me, I think.
Okay. And what is one of the wildest shows you've ever had, good or bad, and why?
Good or bad? Let me try to think of a good one. Oh, you know what? On my recent tour for my album Aperture, I played in Lawrence, Kansas. I had never been to Lawrence, Kansas, and it was so much fun. And it wasn't like wild, but people started like barking during the show. They were like whoop 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 whoop. Like the whole crowd would do that in between every song. And I had never experienced that before. So that was pretty weird, but I liked it. It was fun.
I saw you recently graduated from NYU. Congratulations also. If you weren't playing music, what would you be doing?
That's a good question. I've gone through so many different phases. Like when I was in high school, I wanted to be a physical therapist. And then when I came to college, I wanted to do music supervision. And then eventually, like, the music artist thing, like, became an option. So I do that. But yeah, there's a few things. I mean, sometimes I think I would want to coach, like, girls basketball.
Okay.
I don't know what I would be doing.
Okay. That's real. So you just released your new single, My Love, which you play here on the Big Bang radio station. It's also available on all major streaming services through Sub Pop. Could you share what this song means to you and what message you hope your listeners take from it?
Yeah, honestly, well, the first thing that was big for me was this song was the first song I had released in about 2 years. So the main thing that I wanted people to see was just the sonic growth of the music and just how time can lead to, making new and fun things. But I feel like the song overall is just, it's a lovey song, and it's about distance and it's about longing and obsession and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, but I mean, it's just a cute little lover girl song.
And was the 2-year break for like going to school, or was you just focusing on yourself?
That's a good question. It was basically to finish my degree, and then I was touring throughout that while finishing my degree, and also just trying to make new stuff. That's really what it was. Those three things: school, touring, and making more music.
And while I was watching the music video, I seen a lot of like doodles and just art in general. And I was wondering if any of that was like Easter eggs or maybe something like hinting for something in the future.
You know, I can't say there were Easter eggs in there, but I can say there's definitely stuff coming in the future.
Okay. And final question, how can we, the people, keep up with you and your music?
Well, I would say, first and foremost, if you can find me on your streaming platform that you listen to, you can find me on there, Hannah Jadagu. But I'm also on Instagram, TikTok, all the good stuff. So yeah.
Thanks to Hannah for sitting down with us and talking all about her music. If you want to see more interviews just like this, you can find us online at Studio 67 NCC. Thank you all for watching. I'm Karisma Smith, not related to Will Smith. Bye!